Hi, welcome back. It's Aiyana speaking again. So today I was actually going to do another whisper ASMR. So this is going to be another one of the whisper rambles that's paired with coloring. So I once again have the Botanical Wonders color art for everyone that I am going to be coloring in. Now the very last time I did this, I actually did, let me find it. I was actually doing this piece. Let me see if I can get it in range. It's actually still got that hair stick as a bookmark because of course it does. Here it is. So see, it was quite nice. At least I think so. But this time I'm kind of really feeling this one. So I think I'm actually gonna color a few flowers on this piece. Sorry, that was loud. I think maybe the goal is 20 minutes, but it may end up being 30 minutes because we all know how this always goes. You say 15 minutes and get an hour, so I'm not doing an hour. The goal is 20 minutes. The last time I said that, it ended up being 25 minutes. Or was that the one that was 30 minutes? Anyway. Today, tonight, what have you. I think I'm going to start out with purple again. Purple is actually my favorite color. So, just for any of you curious kittens out there, purple's actually my favorite color. Purple and... no, purple. When I'm not being extra queer, because sometimes rainbow is my favorite color, and that's just how it is. So anyway, I actually had trouble thinking about a topic I wanted to cover, because, since all of you seem to really, really like the whisper rambles over reading, I was like, well, I don't always have a specific thing I want to talk about, but today, tonight, whatever, it is evening, I was thinking about talking about Courage the Cowardly Dog. It's this really old cartoon. 90s kids say A, because you would have been around for this, 90s and the early 2000s. But it's something that did show up on Cartoon Network, but also on Boomerang. If you remember, Boomerang would have a lot of older cartoons. The Jetsons, the Flintstones, Josie and the Pussycats, Courage, that one dog, can't think of his name. And no, I don't mean Scooby-Doo, it was this specific dog. I really don't remember, but anyway, I want to talk about Courage the Cowardly Dog. So, bless his heart, but part of the premise is the fact that Courage is a coward, and not like a little bit of a coward, not like within reason. The boy was afraid of his own shadow. He was afraid of breathing. He was probably afraid of gravity, and the wind, and the color yellow, and milk. He just had, like, a phobia for anything you could think of, I think. He was very timid, very passive, and afraid of everything. That was his entire character. Except when his human, Muriel, she was, like, supposed to be, I don't remember if they wanted her to be Scottish or Irish. Maybe she was Welsh. I don't remember. Those are all distinct, but I don't really know what they were going for. A lot of people in media will just kind of mishmash. They make this, like, fictional, homogenous, quote-unquote, Celtic identity when, in fact, when they say Celtic, they're actually lumping several distinct cultures with different religions together, which, yeah, but anyway, she was supposed to be, quotes, Celtic, so I don't really know what they were specifically going for. It always seemed vague to me which way they were trying to make her, but anyway, she was this really old woman. She was kind of oblivious, but she was really kind. But she also somehow always ended up in danger, and I don't know how. She was just like some kind of danger magnet for real. Like, I don't even know. I really don't know how she got into the amount of trouble she did. But despite how cowardly he was, courage would always go to save her. It did not matter what was going on. And it's not that he was any less afraid. God knows he was not less afraid. If anything, he was more afraid because he was worried about what was going to happen to Muriel. But it was like his fears stopped mattering because her safety took priority over anything else he felt. So it didn't matter how scared he was, and he was always scared out of his mind. It mattered that she was in danger and he needed to save her. So he would get his act together just enough to help her, putting himself in mortal peril more often than not. He really loved Muriel. Love really did conquer all in that case, because despite how scared he was, the thought of anything happening to her was worse than anything that could happen to him. So of course, he made sure to save her. Eustace really did not lend himself toward being saved. He was never grateful. He was never kind. In fact, he was as cruel as he could be. If it were up to him, Muriel would have never adopted Courage, like, at all, ever. He just didn't like him. He didn't think he was intelligent. He didn't think his feelings mattered, and he didn't want him in his space. Muriel, bless her, was not tolerating that. She adored Courage. She didn't always believe him at first when something was going on. She thought he was just being dramatic, and honestly, little me thought she was mean, but looking back, you can't really blame her for it because he's genuinely afraid of everything. So everything is a big deal to him because everything is threatening. But all of the time she ignored him, it was something that was like legitimately life-threatening. So, you know. Sorry about that. But yeah, every single time, without fail, she would just be like, "Oh, Courage, I'm sure it's not a big deal." And I'm like, "Yes, it is, Muriel. It's a big, like, dealio deal. Like, you could, expire." And she's just like, "I'm sure it's fine." And I'm just like, "I'm sure if he wasn't there, you would be, like, in some alien stomach by now." Somehow they live in the middle of nowhere, and that means that they are always seeing, like, I don't know, aliens that want to try human meat or different things like that. Like, I don't know, they always somehow encounter the weirdest beings or people who, like, I don't know, want to, like, wear her as a coat or something, like a really messed up version of Cruella de Vil. Like, I just don't even know what was going on in that world. It was always something. It really was. I think one time, I'm not even exaggerating, one time there was some kind of alien invasion, and a different time there was this, like, cat person that literally wanted to put her into a stew. Like, I could not make this up. It was just so was like this evil computer virus. Like there was just a lot trademark going on with his life all the time. There was literally always something. Somehow, some way, there was always something going on. I could not tell you how or why there was always something, but there was. There was just always something. There was always some reason that their lives were in danger. There was always some reason that he would have to, like, push aside his fear. And y'all, it's not like he stopped being afraid. He was absolutely still just as afraid. It's just that his, blind panic would often overwhelm his fear. His concern would overwhelm his fear. His fear would take a back burner in place of other intense emotions. It's not like he stopped feeling it. So yeah. Yeah, she was so lucky. Eustace wasn't always saved, but honestly, can you blame him? Aside from the fact that he didn't always know that Eustace was also in trouble, or he just didn't get there in time. Eustace honestly didn't deserve to be helped. He didn't deserve to be saved. Like, he was just a mean old man. It's not the fact that he's old, it's the fact that he's so mean. He's mean to Muriel, too. Like, honestly, I think they should just cut their losses and let the aliens, or whatever big bad of the week, just let them take him. Just let them have him. They can eat him. And then Muriel and Courage won't have to deal with him and his nastiness, because he's just a mean person all the way around. If I remember correctly, that's her husband. I'm pretty sure it's her husband. Yeah, because I think they stayed in the same room. I don't think they were, related. I'm pretty sure that was her husband. But it wouldn't matter if he was her neighbor or her mailman. He was just so mean to her. I honestly don't know how she didn't, tell him to leave, to be honest. Maybe so she wouldn't have to be out in the middle of nowhere alone. Also, where they live is literally called nowhere. I can't. And, yeah. They would be like, a bunch of creepy stuff happens in nowhere, and it's up to Courage to save the day, and it's just like, somehow the scaredy cat, who is a dog, somehow it is up to him to save the day. All of you brave folks who live in nowhere, and it's up to the literal crybaby to save the world. Gotta love that. As far as I'm concerned, everyone else in nowhere might as well be living there rent-free, because Courage is the only one doing anything. Somehow he's the only one that notices any of the weird stuff going on, and the only one to keep aliens from, literally putting everyone into a salad. I don't understand it. I really don't. I just don't get it. Somehow no one else notices. And, the other residents of nowhere are just, kind of wild once you actually meet them. I don't even really know where Courage came from, because Muriel found him, by the trash as a puppy. She was already old. I assume he has a normal doggy lifespan, but, she was already old. She found him in, a diaper by the trash and took him home. And Eustace has been mean to him ever since. Usually doing it when she can't see, presumably so she doesn't whack him again. He knows he ought not to be mean. Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. He knows he ought not to be mean to that baby. That's why he doesn't do it where she can see. Because he knows he shouldn't be doing it. He knows he has no business doing it, but he does it anyway, doesn't he? But yeah, what's a memorable episode? Wasn't there something with evil chickens? I feel like there was something with evil chickens. episode about flans. I don't even know what was going on with that. I think they had like an additive in them that made people want to eat them more. Like it got people like craving them or something. Where basically it made you want that to be the only thing that you ate. And he had to like convince her to stop eating them. Yeah. But sometimes it was literally stuff like, hey, so I'm in a cooking competition and like I'm pretty sure, oops, I accidentally broke it. Muriel was kidnapped for a variety of reasons. Or I guess I shouldn't say that. Absconded with for a variety of reasons. But one of them was, I think they needed her recipe or needed her to cook for them or something. I don't know, it was wild. It was a wild time. It's not even clear to me where Nowhere is supposed to be. Like, I don't know if they're supposed to be in the UK. I don't know if they're in the US. I don't remember. To be honest, I really don't remember. I don't remember the setting. Yeah, so I would have to, like, I'd have to Google that. I'd have to look it up because I really don't remember. It doesn't help that they literally live in the middle of nowhere, so there are no landmarks. It's almost like a barren wasteland, to be honest. I mean, I think that's what it's supposed to be. Like the Aura region in Pokemon, but without Cypher and, what was it? Snag'em? Snatch'em? Something like that. I don't know, it was something weird like that. It just was. It was. So, what was the Courage one with the volcano? I really don't remember. I honestly kind of want to re-watch it. Wow, English is hard. I kind of want to re-watch it just so I can get a better idea of some more of his exploits. There was something living in the sand in one of the episodes too. I don't know. He needs a medal though. All of that stuff that he does to keep her safe. Somehow not like, I don't know, just leaving Eustace out in the middle of the desert. Like he tries to make sure they're both okay even though she's the priority, and I'm just like, that's so much effort exerted on someone that you could just leave behind. I'm not saying you have to actively do anything to him. You could literally just leave him. Like, it would be so easy. Just leave him behind. Just let it happen to him. It honestly makes me think of Scooby-Doo in a sense. Because Scooby and Shaggy are cowards too. But somehow you can motivate them with food. Meanwhile, he's not food motivated. He is just like, if something's happening to Muriel, I'm going to lose my mind. Is basically his like entire character. He's like, oh my gosh, don't do anything to Muriel. Muriel, I'm coming. That's his whole character. Meanwhile, with Scooby, Velma is just like, would you do it for a Scooby snack? And somehow Scooby is just like, actually, yeah, I think I would. And she'd be asking about the wildest stuff. Like, she would literally be like, hey, would you touch this cursed artifact? And most sane people would say no. But all she gotta do is be like, would you touch this insanely cursed object for 3 Scooby snacks? Probably not even for 3. And he would be like, yeah, sure, where's the food? Meanwhile, Courage would be like, I'm not gonna touch that with my bare skin. I'm gonna get an oven mitt and, like, throw it into the ravine so Muriel doesn't touch it. feels a little dotty, and she kind of just like, I don't know, I don't even know if she realizes how much danger she's in sometimes. Sometimes I swear she thinks they're just like playing a game and doesn't really know what's going on. Meanwhile, Scooby at least always has Shaggy. They like run from stuff together. I think it's so funny that Courage is just like insta-motivated to help his human. Meanwhile, Scooby and his human just decide to run together. I guess it would be different if Muriel could run. I don't really know. She'd probably bake a pie for the aliens that were chasing them, or the ghost, or the whatever. Meanwhile, Shaggy has the good sense to get out of Dodge with Scooby, and it's just really funny. They just like legitimately, it's also really funny to see Courage try to carry Muriel. Like she would just, like I said, she would literally befriend what's something awful and monstrous? Like Cthulhu. She would literally try to befriend Cthulhu. She would bake it cookies and be like talking to it like it was a sweet child. Meanwhile, Shaggy and Scooby are like, anyway, we have other places to be that aren't here, so bye. She can't really run, like I said, so Courage will just like pick her up and carry her and get out of Dodge that way. And it's so funny. And we've done 3 flowers and we're already at 22 minutes. Can you believe it? So I will, I'm gonna cut it off here. I really just don't want to make this into like a 40-minute video for one sitting. I mean, I'm sure it would be great for the people watching, but you have to remember that I am one person doing all of this alone, and if I make this an hour long, it will take me longer than an hour to edit it. So I'm gonna cut this off here, but I do appreciate you watching. I will continue conversations about old cartoons in a different video. Next time I'll actually probably talk about Scooby-Doo, to be honest. So, I'll talk about Scooby-Doo and some like other stuff next time. But thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you don't want to miss the next video. And if you enjoyed this, please do give it a like. Thank you and have a blessed day.